What's up, y'all? Welcome to Spiritual Excellent Experiences. Your boy X. Kind of forever. Driving right now, so excuse the shakiness of the camera. But just wanted to touch base with something. Kind of following up on something that stuck out in the reading I did for Virgo the other day. And it's about communication. Because when it comes to the world like at large, on a large impact scale, the biggest thing that seems to really hinder, progress, transform, destroy, hurt, harm, and this is, accidental, this is on purpose, consciously, subconsciously, is communication. And you even take this all the way to the Bible to break it down. At one point in time, and this is, based off of teachings that I've learned in the Bible, of how the story of the Tower of Babylon and how it resonated with me from how I was taught. With the story of Babylon, it was all the tribes were all able to communicate. But because of that, we started building this tower, right? All the way up to heaven. God up there like, no, y'all down there, the souls, you're down there now, You was up here at one point in time, no, you're down there to have a soulful experience in the 3D. We, apparently wanted to get back up there for a plethora of reasons, get up there, as well as like, okay, because we were all communicating, we were all sharing all the information and getting this enlightenment. But we got this enlightenment so much that we relied on ourselves more than we relied on God. We put that before God, and God he don't like that. Like now, the head of your life, or spirit, source, Gaia, universe, like, nah, you're not my equal. Like, we can't be God or spirit or sources equal. Now, we are made in God's image, so, but we're not equal to God, and it was a shock where, God just kind of knocked the Tower of Babylon down. That's why when you think about it, it's called the Tower of Babylon. So then when Babel, when babies first start doing what is babbling, when they start speaking, it's just communication. So the Tower of Communication was knocked down. So now we have all these different languages, which is, the story behind of how we ended up with the various languages. Because if we all originated, and this is whether, you believe in Adam and Eve, evolution, spontaneous combustion, a meteor hitting, there's various of how life got started. We still had an origin. We still had a point where everything started, regardless of what facets of life you believe in. There was a point where everything started. The first one, whatever. And it kind of makes you wonder, well, how did we develop all these different languages? And I'm not saying, that Christianity is right or anything like that, but there had to be, this is just a story that I'm using, to illustrate how this came into being. I grew up Christian, so this is the information that I have to give, for those who, and there's similar stories in other religions. This is just the one that I'm more familiar with. So this is the one that I can speak on. I can't talk about nothing that I don't fully know. So please drop a comment. Let me know. I want to know the other stories. I love learning. But enlightenment is growth. But to go back to what was being said with the story of Babylon, it makes you wonder, like, okay, well, how did we come across all these different languages if everybody was talking the same language? Because everybody was originating in the same tribe. How did this evolve into that language or this language? And we hear these different languages on even just watching TV, and it's so different compared to one another. And so it's like, okay, it's not even, and some of them are very, very similar. But and that's why we have root words that's formed in Latin. So at one point in time, one language now has some language evolved. Yes, because even Americanized English has evolved. We have words that have became words that are not in Webster. We have like a few dictionaries. We have Webster. That's like the basics. Then we have the Ebonics dictionary. Then we have the business dictionary, and then we have the medical dictionary. Like even in Americanized culture, we have several dictionaries of just trying to be able to explain what it is that we're trying to get our point across, or what point we're trying to get across at that moment, at that time, at that place. And that's just speaking in simple generalization. So imagine how hard it is to communicate amongst the world if in the English language alone it's hard for us to understand ourselves. English is the hardest language to learn worldwide. Why? Especially Americanized English. Why? Because we have so many synonyms. We have so many words for the same thing. And each word carries a different vibration. Each word resonates with a different person in a different way, based off of the emotions and the mentality that us put towards those words, put towards what it is that is coming out. Think about when we write reports in school, or if you're in college, or if that's part of your profession, or putting in a resume. We use certain words on purpose so that it can carry a certain type of vibration. Whether it is that you want to appear more educated, not saying that you're not educated, but certain words, adds a little pizzazz to it, adds a little bit of style, adds a little bit of flavor to it. That's why I like learning different words. And I'm not the only one. You come across and you hear a word like, ooh, I like that word. That word's just fun to say. That means who? Like irk. Like if you go around somebody and be like, dude, you annoy me. That's going to now of course depending on your personal relationship with the person, the situation, and things like that. But when somebody says annoy, you kind of get annoyed just because they annoyed, because they use the word annoyed. Like annoyed, that's a bit offensive, Okay, guard up. But if somebody comes to you and be like, okay, like, dude, you're irking me right now. Wait, what did you just say? You're irking me. Like, See, just that word alone, like, it means the same thing. It means annoying, bothersome, but it carries a different vibration. Just for one, it's a word that's not commonly used. It's unfamiliar. So, and then it sounds funny. You know, that's one of my favorite words that I like to say. We hear irk. Did you like the first time somebody said that to somebody? First time I heard it, I was just like, wait, what did you just say? Irk. I was like, wait. What does that mean? Like, that word just sounds too fun to say. I was like, you know what it means? I was like, no, tell me how to spell it so I can look it up. Like, what's up with that word? And they told me, I was like, oh, I'm using that. That is so cool. That is so cool. It means so annoying. So then now, like, I've even said it, and people look at me like, wait, what did you just say I was doing to you? I was like, dude, you're like irking me right now. Like, the first thing that, the one person I said it to, I was like, you know, the first thing that popped into my head, I was like, well, he was like, Family Matters, Urkel. I was like, dude, YouTube? Seriously, like, so it changed the vibration. He's like, okay, what did it mean? And I told him, you know, but using that word, like, oh, well, my bad, I didn't mean to annoy you. Like, just that word alone lighten up the mood, because even if you have to explain what a word means to somebody, each word carries a different vibration. Each letter in the alphabet carries a different vibration, a different frequency. Vowels carry a more soft, light-hearted, light vibration, a light sensory response. Then we have, you know, the consonants. Yes, there are way more consonants. So, and those have a more of a harder vibration. Now, there are consonants that are versatile, that can either be said with a hard vibration frequency or a soft frequency, like the letter C. You could, or it's versatile. S is a consonant, but it's also a soft one. Then we have K. K does the same thing. K can be used with another consonant to get a sound, like no. B. B is a very, like, see how that comes out? B. Like, that's a very masculine. And you can even take it as far as that. It has masculine. There are letters that have masculine properties. Just like how we hold, you know, masculine, these letters are literally going to affect, so something that like B, that's going to create a response towards our masculine side. More soft letters like apple, A, it's going to, because it's a vowel. Now, some vowels do have, you know, both, but it's like a baby empress and an empress, like but A is still it's still a vowel, so it still has that finesse to it. You know, it doesn't sound like B, buh. So with that being said, think about putting all these different letters and all these different vibrations and frequencies of these different letters together to form words. The more words that we use that have more stronger sounding letters to it, regardless of where they are, but mostly words that have stronger presence at the beginning or at the end, is going to leave a more stronger impression versus those that are more fluid. Like, and I'm going to use the B word because that's very popular, especially in music. A lot of men and women use the B word. I'm not going to say it. But, you know, when you hear that word, you hear it. When somebody says it, you hear it. Even if they try to whisper it, you hear it. It has a very masculine letter in front of it. Now, the end of it is a little bit softer, but, you know, that's a word that was meant to get it attention. So okay, but now at the end, it does have a more feminine quality to it with the letters that follow. But it carries a different frequency and vibration, like depending on how it's said, depending on who you're saying it to, depending on your environment. Like all these factors play a role in communication. It's not just the words, it's not just how we say it, it's not just what we say. It's also the environment, it's also the other person, it's also how they take it, how they see it, how they so communicating just in the general sense of speaking is extremely difficult, extremely difficult. It's going to take us lifetimes to master communication, lifetimes, because it doesn't matter how hard it is that you try, because there's times where, because I've been through this, and I also know plenty of people as well. It's like, oh, well, I feel like I have to walk on eggshells around this person because I can't say this, or I can't do this, or I can't be like this because this and this and this and this. But then, because at one point in time, we all go through the part where it's like, well, I'm not, and then you get tired about that. You're like, well, no, I'm not about to walk on eggshells, and then you come a little bit more into yourself. Now that's finding your authenticity. But then sometimes it takes a while. Or some people just be like, what, I like being here, I'm just going to stay here. But then the next step in that evolution is to be like, okay, well, now, okay, I done found myself and my authenticity, but I don't want to go around just offending people. I just don't want to. Like, just because it's my truth, I'm not going to force my truth down somebody else, to be more, I'm expecting everybody to just accept me, but I'm not accepting the fact that whatever it is that I could be doing, I'm not taking personal responsibility or account for it. So in any situation, both two or more parties can be at fault. It's not just one or the other. It's not just cut black and white. There's a gray area, and that's the gray area that everybody involved in a situation, everybody in a sense of communicating, which is the world at large. And we do this on a day-to-day basis. Like, for instance, y'all know I work DoorDash. I was just parked, and the guard came and was like, hey, you can't park there. You was over here for a while now. And I was like, oh, my apologies. I never parked there during the day, And I was like, I was waiting for a ding. And he was like, well, during the day, we charge and stuff like this. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, my mistake. I was like, this is one. He was like, but, you haven't went in to go, because sometimes I allow people 10 or 15 minutes to go in and do what they have to do. And I was like, oh, my apologies. This is one of the hotspot locations. And I was completely unaware that you guys were holding, a special event or anything. And when we park near a hotspot location, we're able to get orders not just from this specific spot, but it's for some reason something about the location where we're able to pick up orders. The further we are away from a hotspot, the less likely we are to be able to get orders, because around this location there's other restaurants that generate the frequency that's needed to be able to pick up the orders. He was like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. I've never heard it explained that way. A lot of people come in, they just get their order and leave. He was like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. He was like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Take your time. You still got to, get up out of here. But, yeah, what? Do what you got to do. I was like, thank you. I appreciate it. And it was just that way. Now, let it have been, I'll be complete blank, because, let it have been, like, sometime last year, like, I probably would have called an attitude. I'm like, what? Like, well, it would have, I can't even, the response just would have been different. The response would have been different. Or think about, like, if that was, miscommunicated. Because at first, I had to repeat it a couple of times because he didn't necessarily get it. And it wasn't the fact that, oh, well, he didn't understand. No, it was, okay, well, maybe I'm not explaining it exactly right, because he kept saying, well, you're not going in there. I was like, oh, okay, let me explain it this way. And then when I explained it in more detail, in that situation, it had to be more detail, but also still remaining calm, and not the fact that, okay, he's trying to give me a hard time. He's just trying to do his job. I'm trying to do my job. So now we have to find that common goal, that commonality, that middle ground, to be able to, okay, how can we communicate about what's going on in the situation so that we can both have an understanding. Because I'm also thinking, like, not just, I have no problem moving. I completely understand. I've done that type of job before. And but also I'm thinking, like, okay, well, there are going to be other people that could be affected by this. And through this guard understanding, the situation, he'll be able to understand what's going on. It's like, okay, why do I keep getting these types of companies parked over here? I don't know if all the other places like Postmates and all of them, do it or not. But, that way he'll understand, like, hey, you know what? I understand that this is one of the hot spots, and he'll be able to, and that just, was able to help him to help another person, and as well as me be able to help another fellow driver. Like, oh, okay, well, now they won't feel like that they're being attacked. Well, because, yeah, being downtown where I'm at, oh yeah, it's hard to find parking. So it's a battle. You find parking, you be like, yes. You be excited. You be like, okay, now I'm gonna chill here for a minute, until I get an order and gotta move and do what I gotta do. But it didn't just benefit the situation at hand for me and him. It also benefited future people that he's going to come across, and future people that is going to be in my position that's going to run into similar areas and similar things and similar issues and problems. Might not be the exact same thing, but similarities. It's really literally about how you communicate. You go to somebody like, man, dude, let me park here. There's nowhere to park, and they say no and get an attitude. Or you go and they say no. I'm like, I completely understand, and I know you want to have parking, available for your patrons, but it's really only going to take me about 5 minutes. I really want to be able to go and, do my job. Can we help me out when I come back? I know that this is, a store. I'll come in and I'll purchase something. I just can't purchase anything right now because I'm in the middle of an order, and I got to take care of my customer first. You know how many times I've been able to park in a parking lot that is private parking because I agreed to, like, come in and, like, buy a coffee or a bottle of water. And they're like, well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to come back and buy something, yeah. Now, if you don't buy anything, I'm like, no, I'm going to come back and buy anything. I wouldn't have suggested if I wasn't going to do it. I was thirsty anyway. It's a win-win for me. I get to do my delivery, and I get to get something to drink. All right, you go ahead. 5 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes. And, and I'll go ahead and do my thing, and I'll come back. I'll come in, I'll say, thank you, I appreciate it. Even sometimes just going in and asking, I've been able to, instead of just feeling entitled and pulling up, like, oh, I'm going to park here. They're not going to notice me. Yeah, you do that, and there's a tow truck literally around the corner. And now your car gone, and you've gone 2 minutes, and your car gone. Because they were 30 seconds away, and going in, like, hey, and they're like, yeah, well, where are you parked? Oh, over there? Yeah, man, yeah, that's not blocking anything. It's plenty of parking. Yeah, we're slow, and I'll go and do what I gotta do, but I always make sure that I come back in and go, hey, thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me, park in your parking lot. I appreciate it. You're awesome, man. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then, it's nice. It's nice to get compliments. It's nice to do something nice, and then, have that person come back and say thank you, and not just, okay, yeah, I always, make sure you say thank you and please and things of that nature. But back to the main topic, communication can be very, very difficult, especially in the English language. Ask anybody where English is their second language. Ask anybody who, struggled with English class in school. English is hard because there's so many different variations for the same thing, and everybody has their own reality. Everybody has their own past. Everybody has their own way of thinking and personifications that are implied on the words that are spoken, body language, how we present ourselves, even how we look, how we dress, all of that. We're sending frequencies and signals and vibrations and information just on how it is. We are literally walking advertisements for ourselves. For ourselves. Whether we know it or whether we don't know it. And that's why we do have phrases like, don't judge a book by its cover, and things like that. Now, there are situations where, now, if you know that you're going to be judged by your cover, you present yourself as most as you possibly can by your cover, of who you actually are on the inside. Like, y'all see me in t-shirts, y'all done see me in polo shirts, all type of stuff. Now, depending, and it switches up, because depending on the environment that I'm going in, I'm going to shapeshift in what it is that I need to be and present in order to present the qualities that are appreciated and needed to be applied in that certain situation. That does not make you fake. That doesn't make you a sellout. That doesn't make any of that Uncle Tom's. We have all these type of words that, put people down like, oh, well, you're trying to blend in or do this. In certain situations, yes. Now, if that's not for you and you feel that type of job, by you having to transmute your energy into the personality that, or the role that needs to be taken, then that job just is not for you. But it doesn't mean that it's not for an alignment for somebody else, and then for you to put that person down because of what it is that they're doing, where it is that they're headed in their life. That's for them. That's for them. It's not for you. Okay, it's not for you. But it's just no need for all of that. It's no need to be like, oh, well, oh yeah, but they're selling out and they're doing this. Well, they started off making this type of music, but now they're making this type of music. Okay, maybe they wanted to switch it up. They wanted to be more versatile. They wanted to reach a different audience. Who knows, wherever the case may be. Maybe they got bored and wanted to do something new. Maybe it was challenging. Maybe it was a personal goal. Maybe that was what they originally wanted to do, but they just had to go in through a side door. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe just sit down and ask the person. But see, all these various factors, all these different lessons and mindsets and hindrances is literally all from communication, and not just the verbiage and the pretense and the way that it's said and how it's said. Because sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say. But sometimes it's also not how you say it, it's how you present it. Sometimes it's not how you present it. Sometimes it's how you say it and what you say it and how you present it. Sometimes it's a combination of all of it. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. Sometimes it's not who you know, it's what you know. Sometimes, I could go on and on and on and on and on. And that's why we really, truly, in the world, once we come together as a complete whole and accept people for the individuality that everybody embodies as they are, because everyone is different. So nobody is going to be 100% on one accord. But how we get now this is going to sound very contradicting. Can we be 100% one accord? No and yes. No, because everybody's going to have a different viewpoint. But because everybody's going to have a different viewpoint, reality, perspective, emotional attachment, personification, past hurt, pain, whatever the case may be, because we are all individuals, there's at least one thing that is separating you and making you unique from anyone else. At the minimum, one thing. There's plenty more, but at the very least, there's one. Some even go as far as twins. But we can be on one accord by understanding, embracing, and truly knowing and applying those qualities of the fact that, we could just be as much in agreement as we possibly can, because we're never going to see everything exactly alike. It's just not going to happen. We are all different. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us who we are. And everybody wants to be able to embrace that one uniqueness, that one difference about themselves that makes them who they are and separates them from everyone else. Everybody wants to. You want to, I want to, the next person wants to, my neighbor wants to, everybody does. The car I'm sitting next to, she wants to, you know? And it's really, really, truly embracing that and understanding that, and but still being able to come together and sit down, and everybody sitting down, being able to talk and communicate efficiently and effectively, and achieving whatever goal or desire it is that needs to be achieved. I mean, and the guard, he had a goal he needed to achieve. I had, a goal that I needed to achieve, and actually I was getting ready to leave anyway. So we found that middle ground, like, okay, hey, well, this is what's going on. Oh, okay, well, from him, he's like, okay, I need to get this person out, yeah, there's plenty of parking spaces, but I still have to do my job. I don't want, my boss to come out here and be like, okay, I noticed this car's been sitting here for a while. Why is this car sitting here? You haven't, said anything to them about it. Did they have a ticket? Have they paid or anything like that? I was completely unaware that during the daytime they charged in the parking lot. It was one of those times that I don't really stay over there during the day, but all the other places were kind of crowded. Well, let me jump to a new area, And so I'm coming from a completely different place, but we were still able to come and find that middle ground in between and find a sense of understanding, like, oh, okay, because he was actually going to be like, well, you know what? I'll let you sit here for another 15 minutes, and, if that doesn't, work out, then, then you're going to have to. So he was actually willing to compromise, like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I want you to be able to do your job, but, okay, how about I give you another 10 minutes, 15 minutes to see, and then after that, so, but through that communication and figuring out, okay, this is what the problem is, this is what the issue is, we got to find the middle ground, but it is being able to gain a higher perspective, a higher clarity, a higher sense of being, and being able to look at something and not at just the small details, but being able to look at something as a whole and come down from the top and then look at the smaller details, or either look at the smaller details and then looking it up into the whole and being able to generalize it, like, oh, okay, well, these are the little details. How can we use all these little various factors to build this roller coaster? And how can we, if you're trying to rebuild a car, how can I take this whole car and then break it down and to improve, these little itty bitty qualities about it to make the performance better? Communication is no different. We have to be able to jump be between the two. And I'm, by all means, once again, I'm not saying we have to and you could and you should, as in, this is a suggestion, Either, you can resonate this, or you could be like, yeah, I don't like it. Or you might find bits and pieces about it, or you might not find bits and pieces about it. Because why? We're all different. So in that case, for those of you who are like, yeah, no, that's, hey, we agree to disagree. And for those who agree, hey, we agree. And for those who like in between, it's like, yeah, write the bits and pieces. Well, hey, take what you need. And it's just being accepting of all of it. We don't necessarily have to agree. I've had friends who voted for one person, not voted for another person. And okay, that don't make them, I'm not going to sit up there and be like, oh, well, I'm deleting you because you. No, okay, we agree to disagree. For whatever reason, you resonate with that person. For whatever reason, I resonate with this person. And I'm like, okay, and yeah, we could talk about it too. But like, okay, well, yeah, if I felt about it that way, and was alignment in what your truth is, I would have voted for them. You know what? And if I would have voted for him, and vice versa. And when we have that understanding, that's all it is, and it's agreeing to disagree. But okay, well, I see your point. That makes sense. If I was, but it's not. So I didn't, and for them, and it's still okay. Everything's all copacetic. There's no need to, cause hate and being all, irate and letting people, about to get idiosyncrasies. It's another fun word. That's pet peeves right there. Now see, it sounds so much better and so much funner saying idiosyncrasies versus you getting on my pet peeve. Well, even pet peeve is pretty fun. That's a pretty cool two-worded, word. But it still means something that annoys you. Little small things that's annoying. Little irkable words and moments. But instead of saying annoying or irritants, see how that just annoying, irritate. Like, either, it doesn't matter if you say it lightly or harshly. It sounds annoying and irritating. So, but saying irk, idiosyncrasies. Did you say like a fork? break it down. Really, idiosyncrasies. You just really took it in. You just use a whole another word. Like another one of my favorite words is discombobulated. Who don't want to say that? Who don't want to have the opportunity and chance to use that in a sentence? Discombobulated. Idiosyncrasies. Nuance. Nuance was one of the words I've used that word several times. Every time I've had the opportunity to use nuance or nuastic. I don't even know if nuastic is a word, but dang it, if fleek is a word, we gonna create nuastic. I have a very nuastic mindset. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You know, and then, yeah. And for those of us who do, it is a challenge, man. I completely understand. Now, I'm there with you. It is a challenge being able to use that, and our intentions may be in the best, but just because our intentions are there doesn't mean that it's coming across as we intend. So and that's for anyone, to be honest. Just because the intentions are there and it's like, okay, well, this is the way I communicate and this has worked for all these years and this, okay, well, now this whatever's reasons causing for you to change, it's causing you to approach things in a different way, in a different format, and to be able to grow and evolve. Because when we're able to do that, we're able to connect to more people. We're able to send a wider message, to spread a wider and faster and broader communication, and a lot of fluidity, and really getting all up in the nitty gritty and the crooks and crevices. Because not everybody is a cup of tea. That's why there's so many different motivational speakers out there, because one person could be one that just talks about God all the time. One can be one that talks about relationships all the time. One can be one that talks about, politics all the time. One, but is being able to come and bring it all together, because even it's just one particular category that this person, that's what they really resonate with. That's what really, gets their passions going to be able to motivate or change the world. But it's not just about that particular topic or situation at hand. You could take a business principle and apply it in a relationship. You could take a relationship message and apply it as a personal message. You could take a personal message and apply it as a group message. It's literally just a shifting of perspective and shifting and finding the strong root core meaning of things. I've heard things that I've heard in church used in business. I've heard things used in business used in relationships. And I'm thinking, this is so cool. This is hold on, wait a minute. Awesome. And it's really just changing. Man, I didn't think about applying that and explaining it for this type of relationship, but it works. It makes sense. Why? For people who are more business minded and business, you could go and take a business class and be inspired in your personal life to do something that ain't got nothing to do with business. You could take a personal self-motivation class that's supposed to be empowering for you, and then learn how to be able to connect with people that you ain't been able to connect with ever, because y'all just ain't never got along. So communication is not just a hindrance, it's beautiful. It's once we do find whatever the commonality is, whatever the common goal, the similarities, the progression, the dream, so to speak, it becomes beautiful. It becomes amazing. It makes you want to get out there and speak with people who have completely opposite of what we would consider to be opposite, which an opposite is literally just something it's on the same scale, it's on the same line, it's just at one end versus the other. That's all the opposite truly is. Or opposite can be something that is just, oh no, we're opposites, and it depends on your mindset, it depends on your perspective, it depends how you look on it. Low vibrational, Or, I mean, I'm not even going to say the term's low vibrational. It depends on the individual, where they're at in their life and their soul growth and their process, how they see the world, various factors. Opposite can be something that is negative. Opposite can be something that's positive. It really depends. It depends. It depends. It depends on so many different factors that I'm just not about to name them all. I named some of them, but we're not about to go through all those again. So it's beautiful, but it doesn't make it difficult. It doesn't make it difficult. Some of the most beautiful things are the most difficult things in the world. Babies. Birth of a baby is the most beautiful thing in the world. It's also the very utmost difficult thing in the world. Like, you can literally die. It is the closest thing to death. But everybody wants a baby. Not everybody wants a baby, but babies are, we all know, whether you like kids or not, are precious. It's not the fact that you don't like kids, like, oh, you don't, that ain't none of my business. We're not even going to go that far. If you just don't like kids and you don't like kids, I mean, that's your business. But I'm talking about those, it's just like, yeah, I like kids, but, I just don't want any person, to me. Hey, they still see a baby and go, oh. Or, thinking like their niece or their nephew. Or I come across a baby like, yeah, baby smell. Why? Because it smells good. It's just something about the baby smell. You just sniff their little head and it smells good. It's something about it. Like, I don't know. They just smell like magic. They smell magical. They smell like they just know all the universe of the world, which they probably do, which is why they're not allowed to talk to us. Is why sometimes you ever notice you do something, the baby just be looking at you like, and you swear like this baby know everything it is that you saying. They probably really do. I really want I want to know what this baby is thinking right now. I just want to know. But yeah, when it comes to communication, it's one of the greatest challenges of all times. But that being the greatest challenge of all times doesn't mean it's not the greatest adventure of all times. The best adventures are the most challenging ones. Okay, let's go leave that right there. All right, y'all. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. It's your boy X. Kind of forever for spiritual spiritualists. Everything's down below in the drop box, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Peace.